Hello everyone, welcome to this video, Some Frontier video. My name is Jay Wakefield, and today we're here with the Compaq Armada 1590DT rather. Now, what I've decided to do with this is to upgrade it to sort of a solid state solution. I've done that with a couple of my desktops, my Packard Bell Legend Multimedia and my Compaq Presario 2240. And I've decided to go ahead and do it with this. So here I have a Transcend 4GB CF card and an IDE to CF card adapter. Now what makes this a viable solution is that the pinout for IDE is pretty much the same as the pinout for a CF card. And the CF card has its own controller on it, so it's entirely doable. So, first things first, what I'm going to need to do is take some screws out of this machine. To do that, I actually will have to remove the floppy disk drive and the CD-ROM drive. Hang on, not the CD-ROM drive, the battery. And then there's 4 screws here, which I have to release. Oh no, that is interesting. Not all the screws are here. Never mind, I have spares. Unfortunately, the 1590DT, it's died. Really. Well, it's not died, it's just still having the same problems. Originally I was going to upgrade that to a solid state solution and that didn't work out. So I'm going to keep it as spares. So just let me get my screwdriver set. So I've got my screwdriver with a Torx bit on the end. So hopefully it's the right one. Yes, it is. It's straight in there. And I screwed that tight. You'll think the laptop's skating across the table when I was unscrewing it. Right. One screw. Now I have tried this before with this machine, and sadly the CF card I bought was too slow. So I was having, certainly some issues with random writes. Okay, so now that the screws are out, what I can do is... Actually, for some reason I can't. Right, let's have a look at this. Right, there was another screw there that I completely forgot about. It didn't seem to exist on the 1598. Oh well. Right, hopefully now, put the screen as far back as it'll go, which isn't actually that far. But still, it's a lot further than a lot of screens on modern laptops. So now I can actually lift up the keyboard to reveal what all is underneath. Now, the hard disk caddy is here, and there's a bracket holding it down. So what I need to do is to unscrew this bracket, and I don't know why these screws are so tight. They never were that tight on the 1598. Did I just screw things down a lot tighter last year? really what I could do is getting a flat blade here, but actually probably just pick it out with these. Having trouble even pulling it out at all now. What is this? Oh, there we go. So there, that's the bracket out. And then I need to very carefully pull it out because I don't obviously want to damage the hard disk adapter. As you can probably tell, I've put more modern hard disk in it than would have originally came with this machine. So what I'm going to do now is just unscrew the hard disk from the Caddy. So I'll be right back once I've done that. So that's the hard disk removed. Now, what I'm going to do is install the CF card into the adapter, and then install the adapter into the hard disk Caddy. Just kind of make sure, want to make sure all the pins are in as well, which I don't think they actually are, so I'm going to do this off cam. Okay, that's everything installed. Now, a couple of notes. These screw holes would go, at least some of them would actually go to the screw holes on the hard disk, but of course there is no hard disk, hence no screw holes. Now, these adapters do have screw holes, but none that would kind of fit with this Caddy. You can get none that would fit with this Caddy. You can get larger CF card adapters that are actually, you know, the circuit board is actually the size of a 2.5-inch hard disk. You know, and if the Caddy if you actually screw the Caddy in at the bottom, like on certain Dell Latitude models, I think Dell Latitudes are screwing at the sides, but hard disks have screw holes in the bottom as well, as you can probably see. And so if your hard disk Caddy has screw holes at the bottom, then you can actually mount in the CF card adapter that way. But this is light enough that it can just be kind of held on using the connector. So, hopefully this should work. I have had a couple of problems with this card. Actually didn't work too well in the Presario, believe it or not. I had this card in the Presario, and I bought a KingMax card, and you know, I thought with the 1598 it was a KingMax card that was causing problems, so I tried it in the Presario and it seemed to work absolutely fine. And indeed it does, actually. I'm quite happy with the results. I've got, you know, I didn't like the Transcend card crashing this system. You know, it's just not, it's not in the 2240's nature to be unreliable. You know, I didn't like the idea that I'd destroyed my once impeachably reliable system. I mean, say what you will about the 2240. Yes, I am aware it's a cheap machine. Yes, I am aware that it'll only let you upgrade the RAM from 32 megs to a miserable 48 megs, but 32 is fine with me. You know, the system is brilliant for what I do. You know, it was my childhood system. You know, and it was fine then. I mean, obviously I was able to upgrade to the 2001 custom build. You know, but not everyone is. that lucky, and the Presario is actually, you know, a way into computing for a lot of people that wouldn't otherwise have been able to afford one. Right. No fixed disk present. Right. That is a problem. Please excuse me for a moment, I'm going to have to kill this. Okay. So, we are in business. What I've done here is the following configuration of options were automatically updated. Disk 1 type 65, F1 save changes, F2 ignore changes. So that means the disk has been recognised, and what I did to make it recognise it is I disconnected the CF card and the CF card adapter, and then just reconnected it, and then just kind of pushed the plugs firmly in, make sure they were both firmly in. Now, another problem I had with the 1598DT was once the CF card adapter was installed, it would no longer work with the CD drive. So hopefully this won't be an issue. The 1598DT can boot from the CD-ROM, whereas the 1590DT cannot. But that's not necessarily a problem here. Right. Fingers crossed. Yes. We are in business. Excellent. So, we've got the CD drive working, we've got the CF card working. Now, as I started installing Windows on this system, on this CF card, I believe, you might have noticed that there was a blinking block cursor in the top right of the corner when the system is starting. That normally shows that the utility partition has been installed, which it has, because I actually installed it on the 1598. So what we're going to do is, well, I'm just going to show the partition table. So as you can see, partition 1 is a non-DOS partition that's 12 megabytes. That is the utility partition. This is the main system partition. What I'm going to do, I'm just literally going to format the main partition, /S. Actually, you know what, why not I mean, I know we don't necessarily need to do it, but why, this disk. Don't know what is wrong with this disk, but it, I think I might need to format the disk fully on the Packard Bell and rewrite the image. No, we're not going to format. No, what we're going to do is we're actually going to F-disk it. Actually, before we do anything, let's see if it'll actually, the utility partition will play nice, because it has been set up on a slightly different machine, you know. So it would be an idea to actually see if it, you know, recognises the machine it's now on. See, and the thing is, with the 1598DT, it detected it as Compaq Armada Y, which I didn't like. So, you know, hopefully, whereas with this one, I believe it's detected it as a Compaq Armada 1590D. Yep. Look, 1590DT. See? So it actually detects it correctly with Pentium MMX, 166 megahertz. 2nd of January, 26th of January 98. And that would actually be 17 years tomorrow. Look, it's even got pretty much a time and date. It's 3:05, but we'll kind of give it some slack. You know, it is. This machine is about 17, 18 years old. So just slightly readjust the time. There. See you right. Slightly readjust the time. It's Robbie Barnes. Robbie Barnes night tonight. 32 megs of RAM. Excellent. So the machine, the utility partition works. So what we'll do is actually before we do anything, I want to put my machine back together. So I'm just going to hold it down with this grey bracket. So what I'm going to do, just grab a screw, and I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Not as good as Robbie Barnes. Stick with the And the same thing on the other side of the bracket. Let's see if we can sorted. Now, what I'm going to do... Oh, the light is starting to fade as well, actually. I'm just going to pop this machine over and then make... just temporarily eject the floppy drive once again. I wonder if I should probably hold the keyboard on the other side while doing this one. So that's the keyboard back in place. Now, I seem to have some different kind of screws than I did when I started. But no matter, I mean, I've got two kind of holding in the... I've got two holding the hard disk caddy in. They're not actually screwed into anything. They're just kind of like holding the metal plate to the caddy. But the keyboard is actually secured in now, so you know, that's good. And I've tested it all, and you know, it's all working. So hopefully now I should not have to discombobulate this computer anymore. Right. So, what I think I might do is relieve the 1598 DT of some of its screws, because broken laptops do not necessarily need all the screws that they were made with. So I think I'm just going to kind of help myself to some of these here. Now, 1590 is, you know, a good machine, so I would, you know, I would very much like to see it working. Well, I mean, obviously it works, but, you know, I'd like to see it, you know, as together as it can possibly be. I mean, when I got it, it was in such good condition. I mean, the battery holds a charge. CMOS battery is still good. You know, the hard disk, the original hard disk was still good. It still had the original Compaq install when it came to me. Obviously, I deleted that because, you know, I wanted to reformat it. Plus, I don't necessarily think, and this is going to amaze some of you, but I don't necessarily think that the active desktop update works too well on this. Generally, 200 is the lowest I'll go, which is quite convenient, really. Given that the Presario 2240 has an AMD K62 running at 200 megahertz. And it came with the active desktop on it, update on it. Obviously, if I were to come across the Restore CD for this machine, I would be a very happy chappy indeed, and I would use it. You know, I'd love to have the Restore disc for all my Compaq Armadas, if I'm honest. You know, it's kind of like, you know, Billy Carr with his Packard Bells. I was asked the other day, actually, do I prefer Compaqs to Packard Bells? And, well, I guess the answer to that is yes, well, on the one hand, yes, I do, obviously. You know, Compaq, you know, I grew up with this as my family's computer. So, yes, of course, I prefer Compaq. I think they make a fantastic machine. You know, and their business machines were fantastic. In fact, I'd have to say that a lot of today's Hewlett-Packard business line, you know, that you'll see, you know, in doctors' offices and, you know, the likes, you know, the HP Compaq line, the only machines out of HP that actually work, owe themselves to the Compaq Desk Pros of yesteryear. You know, I think, you know, Compaq before HP took them over, they were fantastic machines. I mean, look at this one. It is just a brilliant example of what was a fine breed. And then you've got the E500, you know, tri-spindle, good graphics, not a bad size screen. You could get different size screens, you know. The machine felt lovely and chunky and what have you. You know, so I really like that. I think the only thing that is wrong with Compaq laptops is the floppy drives can go bad. Oh, there's the other screw. Oh well. And this, I've got to be honest, this is something that unnerves me about CF cards. This machine is probably only making a slight hissing out of the speakers at the moment. That's all it does. Just so what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to delete the main partition and start again, just because I can. So start without CD-ROM support, because I don't need it at the moment, because I'm just going to F-disk. And I will obviously be switching on some light soon. I like natural light. Okay. Yes, I want to enable large hard disk support. And I want to delete partition 2. I want to keep partition 1 as that's the utility partition. And then I actually want to create a new partition. Use the maximum available space for the partition and make it active. So yeah, I did absolutely nothing with the CD-ROM drive there. So what I'm going to do now is start with internal CD-ROM drive support, because that's what this machine has. Oops. That's not good. So next time I'm on the Packard Bell, I'm going to format this floppy disk and we'll rewrite it. Excellent. So what we're going to do, format, this is going to be a full format. You remember how long it took with the hard disk in the 1598DT? Just loading the system files to so it can actually copy them to the hard disk. Warning, all data on non-removable disk drive C will be lost. Proceed with format. Why? So this is going to be a full format. That's right, folks, a full format. It's because it's a CF card. Excellent. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy over the Windows 95 files. Before I do that though, I want to discuss the topic of using a CF card in place of a hard disk. Now this is a good solution for older machines only, really. You see, the problem with a CF card is it doesn't have any cache. See, modern hard disks have quite a bit of cache. You know, you've got regular mechanical hard disks these days have something like 16 megs of cache. Now, hard disks of the old school didn't have that much, but they still had a wee bit. Now, that's absolutely fine. You know, I mean, a CF card having no cache, it doesn't really hurt the system at all. on configurations like these and the Packard Bell and the Compaq Presario. In fact, some say it's even good for Windows 98, you know, so it's good for even some early Pentium 3s. The problem really arises once you get to installing any NT-based operating systems. Now, the NT-based operating systems do use the cache of the hard disk quite a lot and rely on it. And as a result, you will actually start to see the machine slow down because of it. So, you know, that is something that is a problem. And the thing is, mechanical hard disks are going to be a thing of the past. Now, yes, you could get some IDE solid-state drives, you know, solid-state drives in the modern sense of the word. The only problem is that they too don't have any cache. Now, I'm hoping that someone comes along and will develop some sort of solid-state device with cache that you can use in older systems, because, you know, IDE hard drives, they're not getting any younger. They will die. But for these, you know, for older systems, things like, you know, Windows 95, early 98 year and below, the CF card solution is fine. I mean, you can get all sorts of different size, anything, you know, I think from, well, anything up to 64, 108, 128, and probably even 256 gigs. 256 gigabytes would be completely over the top for a system of this type, considering that I think these Compaq Armadas will only go up to 8 gig. This is a 4 gig card that I've got in here. Got a 4 gig card in the Presario 2240 and a 2 gig card in the Packard Bell. Hint, I'm using on-track disk overlay to make the Packard Bell recognise the 2 gig card. But I mean, I know, you know, there's going to be, like, you know, lots of 80s machines that would benefit from this sort of a setup also. MFM and RLL hard drives are really quite sensitive. And they too aren't getting any younger. In fact, those things are positively geriatric. You know, so that's absolutely fine. So, I mean, for this system, hopefully the ZF card should work, because I've now got 133 times one installed. And that's what you should do. Beware of the speed of the CF card, because while most CF cards will work, not any old CF card will do. That's a lesson that I learned the first time I tried this. Putting a Kingston card, and I was finding, you know, I was getting, you know, delays in, you know, when installing things like Microsoft Office. You know, it was actually slowing the machine down. Sometimes you can find with older systems that a CF card can actually speed things up, like on the Presario 2240. Windows 95 starts up very quickly now on that. So yeah, but with this, you know, I don't know how it's going to go just yet. So, you know, we'll wait to find out. Hopefully it'll be absolutely fine. And I was going to say something else as well, but I completely forgot. But yeah, oh yeah, no, that was it. Sometimes you might get certain incompatibilities with CF cards and systems. The card that's in this machine didn't necessarily work too well with the Presario 2240. I was finding that a lot of programs were causing illegal operations. Whereas the KingMax card that I bought for the 1590DT works absolutely fine. Some CF card adapters, like this one, it would not actually read the CD drive. Couldn't do it. Well, when I say that, what I mean is the system would not detect... excuse me. It would not detect that it has a CD drive. Messy Decks couldn't find it. And even before that, the system, the 1598DT does support booting from CD-ROM, but it wouldn't do it. It wouldn't, you know, even if there was a bootable CD-ROM in the drive, it just wouldn't do it. So, you know, you might need to experiment, you know, with different brands of CF card and what have you. You know, because some will work in some machines, others will work in other machines. You know, it really is quite a funny old world. So, I'm away to sort out Windows 95, and I'll be back, I think, once I've got it installed. Okay, so it's the back of 3:15 on the morning of January the 26th. So, I have installed Windows 95, all the drivers, and a lot of the base apps. I've not installed all my games. There are a couple of games that I have installed. But let's switch the system on, shall we? I love the sound of those old floppy drives. Roadgeek actually has a theory that a loud floppy drive C-kit startup is kind of like a firm handshake.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Unless you know that the floppy drive is working and it means business.
Then...
It's like when Grandpa gives you an old pat on the back.
Yeah. Oh, I used to do that with my mate Jonathan, just kind of like wind him. It's like, oh, hey Spike. Oh. Now, so as you can see, we've got loads of stuff on here. Adobe Acrobat Reader 3, Entertainment Pack from PB, Microsoft Money 4.0, Microsoft Works 4.0, Quicken 6, PaintShop Pro 4, QuickTime 3, Wavestream, Brooks Wavestream Wavetable Synthesizer, WinRAR, Internet Explorer 5.5, Office for Windows 95, Microsoft Publisher for Windows 95 version 3.0, and WinImage. So let's kind of go into Word. As you can see, it's probably a wee bit faster. I don't think I've seen as much of a speed increase on this as I did the Presario 2240, but to be honest, the Presario 2240's hard drive I think is kind of slow, whereas this hard drive that I pulled out of the machine, the 1590DT, wasn't so bad. But yeah, anyway, let's just fire up some gamesies, and we'll see. Why don't we play Jazz Jackrabbit? Have type Jazz to begin. Oh, and beware, I can't actually play this one-handed, so don't even... yeah. Now approaching Diamondus. I really can't play this. Oh, no, maybe I can with the angry Alt key, Alt GR. We wonder actually if Alt GR is just a really angry Alt key. Look, I can play this a lot better. You know, I hope my new tripod arrives this week. Seriously, because I'm actually really starting to struggle without it. You know, I bought a tripod, and you know, didn't realise how much I was actually making use of it. And then I lost it. I'm just unable to find it. So, you know, I've ordered a new one, which is actually slightly more fancy. So, hopefully... Whoops. Hopefully that'll work, you know. Because there's a couple of There's a couple of things I want to do, really. Needs a tripod. Anyway, that's just Jackrabbit, and we see that works. So let's try something else that's quite epic. Okay. So it's okay. Gel of the Jungle. Also by Epic Mega Games. Yeah, they're called Epic Games now. I want to configure this. Sound Blaster card has been detected. Do I want digital sound? Yes. Do I want the musical soundtrack? Nope. And I want VGA graphics. Oh, program requires MS-DOS mode. Well, why don't I just do it? Why don't I just use Compaq's DOS mode?
Way to go.
And just this environment has been configured for pure awesomeness. I mean, for running your DOS programs. I'm sure there'll have been a reason that they actually did it this way. Maybe some people are still using bespoke DOS solutions, you know, back in the day that actually required rail mode and couldn't run under Windows. But it actually serves to make a brilliant DOS gaming platform. What's the button to shoot on here?
It might be Alt.
Oh, I'm getting us a bloody record.
Get a weapon first.
Right, okay. Oh, okay. At least on this machine I can actually turn it down in DOS. I don't think I could on the I don't think I could on the 7750 DMT. Aha! Yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm just really struggling to play this game one-handed. Oops. Well, I think that's kind of set the tone, really. So let's exit out of this game. We know that gaming still works. Whoops. So to go back into Windows from this mode, what you do is you just type exit, without the backslash I might add, but it still let me do it anyway. And what will happen then is the machine will just restart normally and head back into Windows 95. Windows 95 is now starting, or is it restarting? I can't even mind what it said. Oh yeah, no, it says Windows 95 is now restarting. So that is actually really quite quick. And I don't know why that comes up. The boot sector couldn't be read. So, there you have it. That's the Compaq Armada 1590DT, all nice and upgraded to SSD by a CF card. Like I said, it's fine for machines of this era, maybe for Pentium 2s or early Pentium 3s, but only if you're using Windows MS-DOS, Windows 3.x or 9.x, obviously Windows 1.x and 2.x as well, but you know, MS-DOS and Windows 9.x as your main operating system, you're absolutely fine with this, with the CF card solution. However, on faster machines and on Windows NT based operating systems, it will slow you down due to the lack of cache on the CF card. Hopefully, you know, someone somewhere will come up with an IDE solid state solution that does actually include cache. You know, the retro computer circuit is now an established thing. You know, I'd say kind of probably more so than what it was when I started back in 2011, and definitely more so than when Billy started in 2005. So hopefully, you never know. You never know. There might be IDE SSDs floating around, or there might be very, very tiny SATA converters that would let you use a regular SSD. So with that said, I hope you've all enjoyed this video. If you like what you saw, please feel free to subscribe to my channel, to follow us on Facebook, and to read my blog. URLs for all three will follow. But in the meantime, thank you for watching my video, and please join me for my next one.